What's going on, guys? Steve V here with another video, and today I want to give you guys my first impressions of the Arcade1Up Simpsons cabinet. Now, this is a cabinet I was pretty excited to get my hands on. It was a cabinet that I wanted ever since Arcade1Up kind of came on the scene. I told myself there was 10 cabinets that I told myself if Arcade1Up ever made, I would have to pick up, and the Simpsons was one of those cabinets. Unfortunately for me, when they did announce the Simpsons, I was out of space, so I did have to sell a cabinet to make room for this cabinet. But when I did finally sell that cabinet, which was burger time, I pulled the trigger pretty quick on the Simpsons, and I was lucky enough that my local Best Buy had one in store, so that was great. I picked it up for $7.99 Canadian initially, but because it was so close to Black Friday, I was able to actually go there a few days later with my receipt, and I got the Black Friday deal, which was $100 off. So they gave me $100 back. So technically, I only paid $6.99, which was great because this is a cabinet that it didn't come with the stool, and with these prices getting so high, any type of break you can get in the price, I mean, it's a blessing. So I was really happy to get that $100 back and only have to pay the $6.99 instead of $7.99 for this cabinet. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the look of the cabinet first, and then I'll talk about the games, and then I'll kind of talk about just what this cabinet kind of offers. And then hopefully by the end of the video, you guys can kind of decide if it is a cabinet for you or it's a cabinet that you want to pass on. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the marquee. So the marquee is very much an Arcade1Up marquee. And what I mean by that is you get that beautiful sticker that, looks nice and clean and really authentic to the way the actual marquee looked like on the Simpsons arcade. But the way their marquees are, you get a lot of light right in the center of the marquee. Which kind of gives you a little bit of a faded out look when you kind of back up from it a little bit. It gives it that washed out look, and you just get this brightness right in the center. It almost makes the image almost impossible to see. So that's a little bit of a negative, but when you get close, you can see it fine. Another thing that's a bit of a problem because of the light just all being in the center is you get a little darkness at the top and the bottom, which with the color of this marquee, it kind of makes it look like there's some type of like shadowy dirt behind the marquee that it makes the marquee kind of look dirty. But all it really is just not enough light is getting to the bottom and the top of that marquee. So, it is what it is. I expected that because with Arcade1Up, they're doing so great at really bringing things up a level with their cabinets. The form factors are getting better. We're getting Wi-Fi, we're getting 12 games, we're getting all these great things. But for whatever reason with their marquees, they haven't quite took a step forward yet. If anything, they've actually took a step back. I got the legacy cabs, and it was the same problem. You see those stickers look beautiful on those two cabinets, but as soon as you light that thing up, you get this bright light right in the center of both those marquees that almost make it impossible to see. It just really washes out the image. And unfortunately, it's the same situation with The Simpsons. But it is what it is. It still looks good when you're up close. And the actual sticker itself is beautiful. So I can live with that. Then you got the screen here. The screen came perfectly. No scratches, no dead pixels or anything like that. It came in perfect condition. And then you got a black bezel around the screen, so that actually makes the screen pop more. There was no scratches or anything on that either, so I was really happy how that kind of panned out. Everything was fine with that. And then you get the speakers right at the top, right underneath the marquee, which are where they've been putting the speakers lately. And I guess they're the same speakers that have been in the last couple gens, but there is something off with the sound of this cabinet, and it seems to be something that's common with a lot of these newer cabinets. The Turtles, X-Men, and Big Blue all seem to have that problem. So I don't think it's actually the speakers, because people have actually switched the speakers out, and then the same thing happens. I think it's actually something with the PCB, something with the game. But because there's Wi-Fi, maybe that is something that they could patch up in a future patch. So we'll see what happens with that. it just seems like there's a lack of bass. There's a lack of just, that extra little thing in the volume. Just something kind of seems a little off. So yeah, hopefully they can fix that up with a firmware update. So then you got the 4-player control panel here, which is authentic to the actual cabinet. I think it looks beautiful. The artwork on the 4-player deck is perfect. It looks great. You got Marge there. You got Homer, Bart, and Lisa. Some people were complaining about the placement of the buttons for Homer. I played as Homer for a little bit. It didn't bother me too much, but I have seen other people talk about it and kind of show, images on their reviews and stuff like that of them playing, and I could tell how it was awkward for them. So I could see maybe if I got a decent sized hand, but maybe if my hand was just a slight bit bigger, maybe I would have had a little bit more of an issue, but it seemed to be okay with me. The buttons and joysticks are your normal Arcade1Up buttons and joysticks. They get the job done. Really happy with them. I've never really changed them out on any of my other cabinets, so not planning to change these ones out. The trackball was perfect. Me and my wife played Simpsons bowling today. Very responsive, very smooth. A1 with that trackball. So we'll go down to the kick plate. So these coin doors are amazing. I love these coin doors. As soon as I saw them, I fell in love with them. And I wish that all my cabinets had these coin doors. I know Arcade1Up is probably not going to sell these for some of the older cabinets, which is unfortunate. But hopefully they keep them coming with some of the newer cabinets. Maybe there's a third-party company that can also make versions of these plastic coin doors and sell them to us so we can, make our old cabinets look as good as these ones. These newer cabinets look. It just gives it a higher-end look, authentic to what an arcade actually looked like. An arcade machine, sorry. So, I love these things. I think it's one of the better decisions Arcade1Up has ever did. Taking away those game names. I mean, they were fine for the time because we weren't used to, we never seen anything different at that moment. We just got used to that. But now that, you're making these cabinets look more authentic to the original cabinets by having coin doors like this, it just brings it that extra little step. So I love it. Great job, Arcade1Up, with those coin doors. And then you got the riser here. So there's two differences with this riser. Number one, it's a little bit bigger than the older riser, which I like. It just gives it a little extra height by a couple of inches. And then another thing is, this is the first riser I've ever seen with no custom artwork to kind of blend with the cabinet. It does blend with the cabinet. Obviously the black here at the front blends with the kick plate, and then you got the blue on the side, which blends with the side art. So it does blend, but there's not any custom artwork to really complement the cabinet, because if you look at all these other cabinets, that's what they do. It's they make it, custom and really make it kind of go with the theme of the cabinet. Miss Pac-Man, it's literally part of the cabinet, but the rest of them, it's more like a complimentary decal that really just gives a little extra to the cabinet. With this one, they just wanted to keep it simple. Honestly, I'm not mad at it. It looks good. The blue on the sides, that just, keeps that color going downwards on the side panel, and then the black at the front. It looks clean, and I'm not mad at it at all. And then you got that classic Simpsons side art, that baby blue with the Simpsons there at the top, and you got the characters at the bottom. Looks beautiful. They just hit it out of the park. The form factor is amazing. I love that they're getting more close to getting the form factors dead on to what the original cabinet looked like. That's such a big plus in my eyes. As far as the aesthetic of this cabinet, I think they really nailed it. I think it looks beautiful, and I'm really happy with that. So now we'll kind of talk about the games. So it came with two games. It came with Simpsons arcade game, which I got kind of playing the attract mode right now. I'll show you guys the options here. So with this game, you get the life options, which is great. You can go from 1 to 7, I believe. Then you get the difficulty, normal, difficult, very difficult, obviously easy is in there too. You get the demo sound, on or off, and you get the scan lines, which I know is big with a lot of people, so really cool that they have that. Yeah, I mean, I played the game earlier and it was a great experience. Some people have talked about the sound kind of being a little off. I didn't have that problem. The only thing that I did notice was I went to go play the game and I was hoping to play with some people, and I noticed that all the rooms were empty. So I ended up playing by myself, which, it was what it was. I wasn't mad at that, but when you got a cabinet that has Wi-Fi and you have the ability to play with people, I was kind of hoping that there would be at least one person I could play with. But it was what it was. So now I'll show you guys Simpsons bowling here. Okay, so we got Simpsons bowling. So yeah, it shows you how to play there, what to kind of do with the trackball and the button. And yeah, this was my first time playing Simpsons bowling. Me and my wife played it together. We had a great time. Very fun game. So I think this cabinet, it's got two major pluses when it comes to these games. The first one is you get that great Simpsons arcade game that we all wanted in our collection. And it's so fun to play. But with those beat 'em ups, once you kind of beat it, you usually let a little time go by before you play it again. To me, it's not necessarily that the replay value is not there. It's just in order to really make it exciting, you play it and then you give it a couple weeks, you give it a couple days, months, I don't know. You just give it some time before you try to play it again. Unless people come over. If people come over, then you're probably going to play it again with them. It's a different experience, right? When you're playing with other people. And hence why there's Wi-Fi on here. It's the ability to play with other people. So yeah, that's why we buy this cabinet, and that's a great game, and it's a game that you are going to keep on going back to. But there's going to be some gaps of time in between. That's where Simpsons Bowling comes in. Simpsons Bowling, I can already tell, is going to be a game that is going to be a huge hit. It's already a hit with me and my wife, but it's going to be a huge hit with my family, my friends. It's just a game that's so fun, and this is going to be the main game that gets played on this cabinet. We just had a great time. It's kind of another version of Golden Tee. With Golden Tee, people came over. It was one of those cabinets where you can have a drink, just kind of roll that trackball, just have a great time and relax. Simpsons Bowling is the same kind of deal. There's 2 or 3 things that you got to do before you toss the ball down the ramp there. But it's very easy. It just tells you, move with the trackball, move your player, this way or that way. Press the red button when you're ready. Move the player this way or that way. Press the red button when you're ready. After you do those couple of things, you get so used to doing it, you don't even think about it anymore. So, just a great game. So, an amazing addition. And I'm so happy Arcade1Up added this game to this cabinet. So yeah, those are my initial thoughts on the actual cabinet. I mean, the look of the cabinet's beautiful. I kind of talked about those minor little things that, were a negative, but for the most part, it's a positive. The 2 games are great. Simpsons arcade game, such a classic game. The reason a lot of us are buying this particular cabinet, but Simpsons Bowling is really what you're probably going to get the most money. You're going to get your money's worth out of Simpsons Bowling. That's what I was trying to say. Such a great game. For my first time playing the game, I really fell in love with it today. And yeah, it's going to be a favorite in a lot of people's arcades for sure. Thanks for watching the video, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of first kind of impression on what I think of this cabinet and of these games. And maybe this will help you guys decide if it is a cabinet for you. Or, like I said, maybe it's a pass for you. Maybe the fact that it's just 2 games and one of them is a game that maybe you might not play on a daily basis. Oh, I completely get it, but if you do have that connection to The Simpsons like I do when it comes to that particular game, and then yeah, Simpsons bowling on top of it, this cabinet's worth it for you. I know it's worth it for me. Take care, you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.